I went to my local Hobby Lobby store. You can go to Michael's or any other craft store and pick up things that you can use to start engraving. So if you go into Hobby Lobby or Michael's, look for the discounts. All of the items that I will be showing in this video cost less than $100 total. So the challenge of going into a store like this is not buying the whole store, because your mind just goes crazy with all the different things that you can make with this type of machine. I have a confession, it's good. This is a really good machine. I've been pretty critical of diode lasers in the past because in my experience, they've always been very slow. But this machine it's a really good machine. You don't have to be a woodworker to make custom projects like these. I went from unboxing to engraving my first project in less than an hour with this xTool D1 Pro. This is a 20-watt diode laser from MakeBlock. Instead of focusing on the unboxing, because there are literally hundreds of unboxing and assembly videos on this machine, I want to share how you can pick up some projects and start personalizing in less than a day. And that is exactly what I did with this machine. In a previous video, I talked about slate coasters, and coasters are something that pretty much every video talks about when they're talking about laser engraving. But that's because they're super simple. A set of these coasters only runs you a few bucks, and you can sell this set for something like 30 or 40 bucks. Realtors love to put their logo on everything. They're a lot like woodworkers. We love to put our logo on everything. So what I would recommend if you've got a realtor that's looking to give a set of coasters maybe to their buyers is do the name of the person receiving the gift on the coaster, or have the realtor send you a picture of the home and you can engrave a picture of their home and maybe put something like welcome home on it. And then for the back of it, you could add the realtor's information on the back. So you can make them out of wood, you can use cork, you can use slate. And I was gonna engrave cheap coaster set on here, but I ran out of time. You don't have to make your own charcuterie boards. There's a variety of different types of charcuterie boards. These are made with acacia wood. This charcuterie board was $14.99. It was actually on sale. So for 7 or 8 bucks, I got a cutting board that we can use for Thanksgiving or Christmas. And I really love the grain and texture on these because they're really interesting. But if somebody's asking for a customized project, which that happens a lot, I've got a lot of realtors and friends who will hit me up and say, hey, can you engrave something for this weekend? And a lot of the times the answer is no, because as a woodworker, I like to make my own wood projects. But what I'm gonna do is I've got a stockpile of these now that I went shopping, that if somebody asks for something, instead of saying no, I can say I can engrave something that I've already got. Really, when somebody's gonna buy a project, they really want the customization. And you can actually start selling these for, you spend $7 on something like this and you add that personalization for somebody, you can sell this for 50 bucks. I thought this thing was super cool. This is like something, it's basically just made out of pallet wood, but you can put whatever you want on this. I mean, if you had a desk, right? If you wanted to make this for somebody at work that says, don't bother me on one side, or, welcome on the other side, you can put this in the lobby to say, back in 15 minutes or something like that, or next counter. There's lots of different ways you can incorporate a double-sided sign like this. And you could, if you're handy, you can make your own because it's basically just tacked wire and some wing nuts. This frame, it says it's $17.99. I also got this one on sale. I think it was something like 40% off of the frames. But it's the same type of thing. It's basically pallet wood, but I thought this one was kind of cool because it was kind of rustic and it had a little bit of that baseball feel. So I made this for my son's room and for his all-star team. But you can do something like this. People love personalized projects. If you had a wedding you're gonna go to, you get a picture of the couple. They can replace it themselves later, but you can put their wedding date on here. So frames are an awesome way to use your xTool laser to personalize something for your friends. There's really no end to what you can make with a tool like this. And I am so surprised that a diode laser can cut so well, and it cuts really thick. My other diode laser that I had before, I mean, it would barely touch the surface, but when you're starting to get up into the 10, 20, or even 40 watt categories, these tools can really take your projects to the next level. Yes, you can engrave leather. You can either cut the leather or you can etch it like this. And so this is a patch. It's got an adhesive on the back that you can use to iron on to a hat or to a shirt or something like that. So these I picked up off of Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description below for these, but there's tons of different options from square, round, rectangular, different odd shaped leather patches that you can use to add personalization to things like this. Stainless steel is another great use for the laser. I did this. I put my logo on this pizza peel because I've wanted a pizza peel for a long time. I didn't necessarily want my face engraved in it, but I just thought it was kind of cool to do it. You can adjust the settings to get a really dark engraving on the stainless steel, but I wanted something pretty subtle. So I ran it at a fairly light power setting and a faster speed for this particular one because I didn't want it super dark. Also because the luck that I had with this, if you engrave too slow, sometimes your metal can warp because basically what you're doing is you're adding heat to the surface and that heat is going to spread across the material and cause it to warp a little bit. And I tried to use these little hold downs on this when I was making it. I ran this at a super low speed and a high power setting. And so that's why I got a much darker engraving, but I also warped the material. So I didn't want to do that with the pizza peel, but for this pizza slicer, I wanted it a little bit darker, so that's what I ended up with. So once you start using materials like this, I've got a great source for you. I've talked about them in other videos, but MakerStock.com, I'll leave a link to them down below, along with a discount code for you. So MakerStock sent me a bunch of materials, including this sample box, which has a ton of different acrylic samples, which are super cool. There's just some really cool pieces in here. My mind is just going crazy thinking about what I can make with some larger sheets. Now these are little samples, so I'm not gonna be able to do anything really super big or awesome with this. And so the various sizes you can get from there run from like $3 or even $2 and up. But you can get a fairly sizable sheet for between 20 and 25 bucks, so you can really put it to use on this machine. I mean, look at some of these acrylic pieces. They are super cool. They've got some iridescent pieces. They've got this pieces with this sparkles and glitter and opaque. You're going to be limited on the types of acrylic that you can cut on this machine, but they have the sample pack that you can try so you can see how your machine reacts to those different materials. Here's a piece of MDF that I got from MakerStock. So you can use this to make signs, like this sign that I made for my daughter's room was made with MDF. So you can cut the MDF and paint it and attach it to a sign just like this. Amazon is a great source for project materials. So for like coasters, stainless steel tags like dog tags, leather wallets, rolling pins, pizza pulls. You can just research laser engrave blank templates and you're gonna come up with tons of different options. Where I really get my inspiration is walking through those stores like Hobby Lobby and Michael's, or even checking out Etsy, because Etsy's got a ton of different listings. And that's where you're gonna wanna try to sell a lot of these products, along with Facebook Marketplace, to your friends and family, to your realtor. Once you get your products out there, you're gonna start selling these things like crazy, and you're gonna barely have time to do YouTube videos. Believe me, it's a struggle. One thing that I was really looking forward to doing with the xTool D1 Pro is using the rotary and doing tumblers. So this is a really simple tumbler because it's pretty flat. It didn't require a lot of work to get it going because it was basically ready to start engraving. To use the rotary on the machine, you'll want to add these extension legs that come with the machine. It comes with 8 of these that you will use to make the machine higher before you add your rotary underneath. I had some tests that I was running on it first, and until I figured out the rotary attachment and the direction it was going, I started engraving it backwards. But what I would recommend you do is get a couple of these. I picked these up, and this one you see is $7.99. I got this is pretty good discount, but if you buy in bulk, there's a couple different suppliers that you can use to buy tumblers like this in bulk. They'll either be stainless steel like this, or they'll be coated with a paint surface. So when you have a coated one, when you're engraving, essentially what you're doing is you're burning through that protective layer, that painted layer, and it's engraving, it's removing that material and showing the metal. This is different. This is stainless steel, and you can engrave this with the xTool D1 Pro. And the stainless steel is actually, you can feel it, it's actually etching into the material. And so this was run at a low speed and high power setting, so I could get a really dark engraving on this. But I think for a test, it turned out pretty good. This will be my test piece that I'll use to get things set up on the rotary in the future. So this will be my shop mug. So all of the projects that I showed here cost between $5 and $15 in materials. Most of them were less than 10 bucks. And if you can sell those projects between 30 and 70 bucks, so let's say a $50 margin on each product, all you have to do is sell between 30 and 35 projects to pay off the machine. So that's one way that you can pay the machine off fairly quickly. Another way that you can pay off the machine or start making some extra income besides selling your projects is by becoming an xTool affiliate. So like I did, I'm an xTool affiliate, and if people use your link, like I hope you'll do when you watch this video, it helps me to make videos like this to educate people on how to use the machine and how they can make money with it. Another great way to make money with your laser engraver is to laser engrave pieces for other people. You can put yourself out there into Facebook Marketplace or services like that and let people know that, hey, I've got a laser and I can engrave things for you. And you can just charge your time for the laser. I'm not gonna tell you what to charge for your laser engraving services, but make sure it's enough to pay for your time. So there's tons of different ways that you can make money with your xTool D1 Pro. I wanna say thanks to xTool for sending this machine. I did not think that I could make so many things with a diode laser. I've been partial to CO2 machines in the past, but there's some really cool things that you can make with this machine. I've made some other videos on some different laser topics, so if you're interested in one of those, click right here.